Hey everybody, and welcome to AniBreak, the show that we break down the week's hottest topics in anime, manga, and video games. My name's Jason, and today we have stuff from KyoAni that doesn't deal with free, for those of you who are very anti-male KyoAni series. I know there's a few of you out there. A classic series is now available to be streamed on Hulu. A few acquisitions that have just been announced earlier today, and not to mention a few releases that came out actually earlier today as well for you to spend all your hard-earned money. But before we get to all that, let's just start off with the KyoAni news. Kemono Animation actually came out with a bunch of new information on not one but two of their series. I'm just going to play the first one and see if you guys can guess what it is. That's right. Kemono Animation made the announcement a while ago, but we finally got a trailer for it, for the Chunibyo Demo Koi ga Shitai movie. Now, if you were hoping this is going to be something that'll be brand new, we're going to really enjoy it, unfortunately, no. The usual rule of an anime movie, with very few exceptions, either one of the two. One, it is a rehash of the series with some new animated scenes, or two, it's a new storyline that has either nothing to do with canon or does nothing to push the story along. And unfortunately, this is the former. Yes, this is going to be a retelling of the first season. Now, they say about a third of this movie is going to be brand new animation and tweaking the story a little bit to tie in with the upcoming season 2. You guys know if you're a fan of this series, you're going to watch it anyways, if anything, for the new scenes. Whether or not you would add this to your Blu-ray or DVD collection, that's left to be seen. I mean, the good news is, the fact that this is coming out relatively soon, that just means that the second season is on its way that much more soon. I'm looking forward to it. Second season is coming out this winter, so you still have one more season of anime to go through before that comes out, but you'll have this upcoming movie to tie you over in the meantime. The other bit is that KyoAni made an announcement for a follow-up project. They didn't specify what project, but it's going to be to the winter 2013 anime Tamako Market, or winter 2012, I should say. It's great that we're getting more of Tamako Market. I'm a big fan of it. It came and went far too quickly. It's kind of odd that they only made the announcement that it's a new project. They didn't specify movie, they didn't specify new season, they didn't specify retelling, nothing. So it's good that we have more information that this is on its way out, but other than that, we just have to wait and see for see what happens, I guess. My gut tells me second season. I mean, that first season, like I said, came and went way too fast for my taste, and I'm hoping that there's more to the story that they can add that's in that universe. But that's just me. Then I'm hoping for more free. Say what you will, it's actually a really good story, very well animated. Kemono Animation has always done a fantastic job with their production quality, and I'm hooked. It's a great series, so this is just continuing the trend. Speaking of series that seem to have ended way too quickly, I keep on forgetting how to say this entire title. It's Fate Kaleid Liner Prisma Ilia. This, we already knew at the beginning it was going to be 13 episodes long, so I was expecting we're going to have something in terms of the storyline that was as epic, hopefully as epic as like Fate Zero. Nope, wasn't the case. It's Magical Girl. It's a magical version in the Fate universe, and it to its credit, it works very well. It's a little slow at the beginning, but for me, it really picked up once you hit episode 5. And I just watched the last episode, episode 13, the other day, and I was thinking, okay, that wasn't much of an ending. They have to do something. Are they going to make an announcement sometime later on? I did not have to wait long for my answer, because right at the end of the credits, this popped up. Fate Kaleid Liner Prisma Ilia Zwei is actually going to be greenlit. So we have a second season of the Fate Magical Girl franchise. We have no idea what to expect from this second season. So, but the fact that it has been greenlit, I'm looking forward to it. If you guys haven't watched the first season, it's still available on Crunchyroll. I'm not sure for how long, though, so you want to jump on that ASAP. Once I get some more information regarding this, I'll let you guys know. Most likely, there's going to continue to follow the manga that this has been partially based off of. And I say partially because they kind of deviated at several key points, but you know what? It's still enjoyable. A little slow at the beginning, but I think you guys will enjoy it. And it's great to know there's actually more coming along the line. Let's see what else we have. Oh yes, a series that I was very reluctant to get into just because of the backstory behind it. I mean, it's based off of a visual novel, and while some of those visual novels, when they get adapted to an anime, do turn out pretty well, this one, for some reason, because I never played the visual novel, I wasn't really interested in the first place, and I'm talking about Little Busters. Now, this being said, when I watched the anime adaptation, it took a long time for me to get into it. It wasn't until, and it's not even really a spoiler, once things start to break down is when it actually started getting interesting for me. However, that's pretty late into the season, so okay, there's that. Earlier this week, there was an event for Little Busters Refrain, held over in Tokyo, and it was revealed there that they're not done with this Little Busters franchise, not by a long shot. They made the announcement of Little Busters EX, and what this is, the EX was to refer to the ecstasy version of the light novel by Key, which makes me wonder, okay, if we're going to go for the ecstasy version, you're going to have a lot of, for lack of a better phrase, not safe for work material, which makes you wonder how far are they going to go into this the anime adaptation of this. Now, unlike other Key visual novels that were adapted over, like Canon and Air, they had adult content that was removed in later ports. The adult content that was actually in Ecstasy was actually added in 2008, and so they're going to use that as a basis for this. And I'm thinking, I don't know. I mean, okay, yes, you have high school girls. Some of them are cute. Some of them are your typical. Let me phrase that. They hit some of the iconic character archetypes that you can find in almost any single visual novel. Then you try to throw in more adult stuff into it. I mean, that's par for the course for any eroge out there. Now you try to adapt that to an anime. How far can you go? And more importantly, how far are you willing to go? That's just all a matter of taste. So if you're a fan of that, jump into it. We'll get more information as the year goes on. Will I watch this? I look at it this way. I put all that time and effort to watch the first season. I might as well watch this as well. So eventually, maybe I'll play the visual novel game as well. We'll find out. Moving on to some manga news. You guys remember the series at the time we said out Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Z. No, I'm not talking about Naruto or Bleach. I'm talking about Gurren Lagann. And it's cool that this is a series that's not died. I mean, yes, you had 26 episodes. Yes, you had a movie, and that stuff was beyond epic. That's not enough, though. We're going to start off with a spin-off series that's takes place actually in modern-day Japan. So take all the characters, take most of the plot and story you've known from the series, and throw it into modern-day settings. And you can actually go online to monthly comic magazine Heroes English website and actually check out a preview of issue 1. Now, granted, it is all in Japanese, so you have to understand exactly what's going on, but at least you can get a taste of what to expect. It's kind of interesting to see some of these characters in a mix of their attire from the series and the movie, but mixed in with like typical schoolgirl outfit. It's kind of interesting. Now, I'm hoping that this will actually get an official translation and brought over to the States, and even more so if this becomes as popular as the first anime series. Could you imagine this getting adapted and brought over like on the big screen. I mean, granted that Gainax themselves are actually behind this in terms of the story. I'm looking forward to it. It could be amazing. So, like I said, you can go over to, just search for Monthly Comic Magazine Hero. Go to their website. They do have an English portion of their website. Unfortunately, the preview of the first issue is in Japanese. So, there is that. Let's go back even farther, shall we? Let's go back to Ramo One Half. If you guys remember this, this was an absolute classic. I guess you can call it cross-gendered martial arts sex comedy. I guess you can call it that. I mean, this series went on forever. I mean, almost anything that Rumiko Takahashi does is gonna go for years. I mean, look at other stuff like, you know, Inuyasha, which I forget how long that series was. But yes, this is actually available once again to watch. We've already made the announcement that I believe it's Viz that's actually going to be not only re-releasing the manga in, I believe, an omnibus format, in a 2-in-1 editions. It will be in right-to-left format for the first time. They're also going to release the series. All these series, I'm sure including the OVAs and the movies, will be available again on DVD and for the first time on Blu-ray, which I think is a fantastic deal for those of you who have never seen this before. Now, to whet your appetite for this, they've actually uploaded the first 8 episodes of Season 1 over to on Hulu. So you guys can go check that out. If you don't need a Hulu Plus subscription to check it out, granted, by doing so, you have commercials, but honestly, it's so worth it. It's been so long since I've watched the first season, I probably have to go back and watch these first 8 episodes later on tonight and just reminisce. Because it's those episodes that people thought were so quirky, but yet so captivating, that launched, what, 7, 8 seasons, 12 OVAs, a crapload of movies. So many. But it's a great series. You guys should check it out. And that's all I can say. Go check it out. Hulu.com/Ramo One Half. All right. But let's move over from Viz. Let's go over to Funimation. They've been promoting the hell out of one of their latest acquisitions, which is the latest One Piece movie, Strong World. It was huge announcement. Those who are fans of the One Piece series were waiting for this for a while. It's great that they're actually jumping on this. We know what's coming out on DVD Blu-ray combo pack. Actually this November, just before Thanksgiving. So either buy it for yourself or hint, hint, wink, wink to all your friends and family for a Christmas present. But we finally actually have a trailer of the dub, and honestly, it sounds good. I'm looking forward to it. It looks a hell of a lot of fun, and the big tie-in, the big draw for a lot of One Piece fans was that both this movie, which was initially released in 2009, and Film Z that was released last year, they're considered the blockbusters of the One Piece movies because they were supervised by the creator of the series themselves, Eiichiro Oda. So you have that. I do like, it's nice the fact you have the original creator tied in, to work on the movie. You kind of have a better understanding of not only the universe but also the characters and where they could go given a certain situation thrown at them. So I'm looking forward to this. Like I said, this will be available on a Blu-ray DVD combo pack on November 19th, thanks to our friends over at Funimation. You guys, if you are a fan of One Piece and you're hoping to get not only more episodes, more seasons, more of these movies brought over on DVD and Blu-ray, you want to support them by going ahead and spending some of your money and picking this up day and date of release if you can. Let's talk about Aniplex. Aniplex USA made a few announcements at Nandescon in Denver last weekend. They picked up a couple titles. The first one we have here is actually Vivid Dread Operation. This is a series that I will say looks amazing in terms of the production quality, but I was never really got into it. Essentially, I look at this as a spiritual successor to Strike Witches. Now, if you're a fan of that series, you're absolutely going to love this. If you weren't, you're probably not going to. Just giving you a heads up on this. the set will be available on DVD, only available in Japanese dialogue with English subtitles. That's a kind of a nice bit right there. Aniplex USA has been doing that for a while. For a while it was streamed on Crunchyroll. I'm not quite sure if it's still available there, given the fact that this is now coming out on DVD. The other one they picked up was actually a series called Ore Shura. And I guess you can just call this one more of like a high school love comedy. That's the best way I can put that. You can find more information online. I think this one as well is actually available on Crunchyroll right now. Each of these sets are actually available. They're slated for $60 US retails. So if you go to, say, Amazon or Right Stuff, you'll probably be able to pick these up when they come out December 17th for hopefully a little cheaper than that, probably around $40, $45. But it wasn't about, you know, all the these older series that they're picking up and finally bringing out the DVD and hopefully on Blu-ray eventually. They also made an announcement for an upcoming series that hasn't even started yet. They're jumping on this quick, fast, and in a hurry. And we're talking about Samurai Flamenco. This is going to start actually in October. And the idea behind this is you have a man named Masayoshi Hazama. He is basically a male model. And one day he says, I want to be a superhero. But he has no superhuman powers, nor does he have millions of dollars to, you know, have a high-tech Iron Man-like suit. None whatsoever. But he just wants to be a superhero. So he goes off and starts, you know, trying to protect the innocent. Then a cop named Hidenori Goto finds out about the superhero. By turn of events, actually finds out the hero's actual name and occupation. And because of that, the two are actually entwined in a number of situations. They have to work with each other to face these hardships. The whole underlining tone of this upcoming series is a search for the true meaning of becoming a hero of justice. So hopefully it won't get too preachy. It should be a lot of fun. Like I said, the fact that Aniplex has already made the announcement they picked the license for this, you know it's coming out on DVD and or Blu-ray. It will be streamed somewhere in the United States, so given their track record, that's got to be Crunchyroll. I'm hoping this will be one of their simulcasts, which means we have, what, 2 weeks before this comes out for at least episode 1. It looks interesting. I'll give it a shot. As a reminder, for next week, I'm going to be focusing all on the fall anime season for 2013. All, what, 28 different series? Or series and OVAs and movies that are all coming out for over the next few months. That all start very soon. I believe the first episodes of the fall season start, I believe, October 2nd. So it's coming out very quickly. But jumping back over to the States real quick, you guys might remember a little thing called Neon Alley. And while they actually achieved some decent success, not only are they releasing whatever series or movies that they're showing on their paid stream, it is uncut, I will give them that. All of it is dubbed in English, so if you're not a fan of that, you probably don't have a subscription to that, but it's actually kind of worth it if you're fine with that. The only problem was that the live stream service was nice, but you couldn't go back and watch episodes you may have missed. If you're not watching on Neon Alley's time, you're kind of SOL, which is odd because if you're paying for this, you want to be able to watch it when you can. Thankfully, Viz is actually going back and trying to fix this. They announced a new feature called Catch Up that'll be available this fall for the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. Every episode that it'll stream on Neon Alley will be made available for a minimum of 1 week after it airs. So if you missed out on an episode, you can actually go onto the service and actually watch it at your own time. Exclusive premieres, like stuff for like K or Naruto Shippuden, will be available for at least 2 weeks. So you have a time frame, albeit small, but you'll still have a time frame to actually watch past episodes. I was kind of hoping that they would go the path of, say, Crunchyroll. Apparently, they're not going to go down that path, at least at this time. But it's cool that they're actually offering this feature where it's uncut in English dub. There is a market for it, and the fact that they're trying to expand upon it with this catch-up feature, I give them props for that. So you can always spend $7 a month on that, which I think is actually a decent deal. Because it's $7 a month for either that, or Crunchyroll, or Anime Network, or Funimation, or Hulu Plus, which has a bunch of anime on it as well. Or it seems to be the normal price. It's about $7, $8 a month, so it's well worth it. Or you can go spend money on DVD and Blu-ray box sets of series that just came out, like, oh, I don't know, yesterday. Let's go over a couple of them, shall we? First up, Future Diary, Mirai Nikki. This series, it is 26 episodes long, if I remember. Yeah, 26 episodes long. Got kinda creepy. By kinda, I mean it, like, oh my god, what the hell is wrong with this girl? Kind of creepy. It is very well done. I really liked it. If you guys haven't seen this, go on to like YouTube or hit up, I think it's Funimation's website that actually took care of this one. Check out the trailers. It's well worth checking out. But you can actually pick up both Volume 1 and Volume 2. This seems to be the norm now. It's no longer just a complete series box set. No, it's always the complete series, Part 1 and Part 2 and Part 17. That's not the complete series. That's just a selection of titles for a box set. But yes, but you can pick up both of these. They are available today. They're usually about $65 to $70 each in terms of the retail price. If you go to Right Stuff, they're actually selling each of them for about $36 a pop plus tax and shipping. So it's not a bad deal. But for me, I think I would have to actually go for the Blu-ray box sets of Michiko and Hatsune. This was an amazing series that had a very Cowboy Bebop feel to it. For the sole fact that you had Shinichiro Watanabe, which was the director of the Cowboy Bebop series, behind this one. The soundtrack is amazing. It is not handled by Yoko Kanno. It's actually handled by a group called Soil and Pimp Sessions. That's like a jazz fusion combo, and it works so well. The idea behind it, because this kind of flew under the radar for a lot of people, was stars Michiko on the left, is an escaped convict that has lethal looks and a deadly disrespect for the law. Okay, typical setup. Hatsune on the right is that hapless little blonde-haired orphan that has really horrible fiendish foster parents and trying to get out on her own. Well, they actually end up teaming up, and they both have their own goals. One is trying to find a mysterious figure from her past. The other one is just trying to find a better life, just to get away from the evil parents. And this whole thing has a very Latin tinge to it, but honestly, it works so well. But you guys want to check these ones out. It is available, the full series. You have to buy the 2 packs. Again, these are usually about $70, $75 for Blu-ray. Right Stuff has these right now for about $40 to $42 each. But that's not the only thing that just came out today. 2 bits of manga actually came out today that I'm actually really looking forward to. One is actually Part 3 of Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origin, where they go back to the beginning and explain the entire universe. It's actually really, really good. You guys want to check this one out. So that's currently available right now, like graphic novel number 3. The one that's kind of piqued my curiosity, though, is this one. It's another Eva spinoff. How many manga spinoffs have there been of Eva? I've lost count after 5. But this one is called the Shinji Ikari Detective Diary. The idea behind this is Shinji, his friend Toji, is getting menaced by gangsters, so Shinji feels like he needs to help out. So he goes to find the local private eye, which is Kaji. Kaji's assistant is Kaoru Nagisa. But even though he hired Kaji to, help with the situation, Shinji is drafted into solving the case himself. So take all the Eva characters, throw them back into high school in a different universe, but throw a film noir detective style into it. And you can pick this one up for like $7.50. You can go to your local bookstore if they're still selling manga. You probably get it for the retail price of $10. Kind of worth it. I would recommend going to check at least that one out. Let's move on to some gaming news real quick. And the big news is actually an acquisition that most people are happy about, but some are concerned. I'm talking about Sega actually buying out Index Holdings is the name of the company. That doesn't sound familiar to you. You probably recognize it more as Atlus. They had some massive problems earlier last year. Index Holdings was found to be engaging in illegal accounting practices in order to improve its stock price. And of course, it got raided and this all came out to public. So they were trying to find someone to try to help them before they would have to go bankrupt. Well, surprisingly, Sega decided to actually purchase Index Holdings outright, all of it, including Atlus, for $141 million US, essentially about 14 billion yen. So a lot of people are thinking, okay, cool, Atlus is actually going to continue to make games, right? Or are they going to have problems where Sega will say, you're ours now, you have to do exactly what we say, you have to redo everything, you can't play any of the older games. That's not the case, thankfully. Sega's already made the announcement, and Atlus has confirmed this, that even though they are now owned by Sega, for the most part, they're going to be left independent. They're allowed to continue what they're doing. All the games they're working on are still slated to be released. So I look at it as it's business as usual, with the bonus that you can actually get probably a wider distribution, because Sega's distribution market is pretty nice. It's better than what Atlus had before. So I'm thankful for this. Now this deal is going to be finalized in November, so you probably won't see Sega's logo on any upcoming Atlus games probably until the new year. But honestly, I think it's a great deal. Plus, who knows what's going to happen with crossovers. Because once you get crossover games going on, all bets are off. Like this upcoming game. Well, this game, I should say, has been out in Japan for a while, and it's called Aquapaza. And the idea behind this one, it's a joint collaboration between Aquaplus, which creates some great games already, and its parent company named Leaf. That name may sound familiar if you're a fan of visual novels, because between them and Key, they're like the two biggest companies that are continually bringing out visual novels in recent memory. And the idea behind this game was essentially, let's create a fighting game that actually, from what I've been reporting, has been reported to me, actually holds up pretty well. Let's take characters from these popular visual novels and put them into a fighting game. Here's where I get confused, because some of Leaf's titles, you may have heard of them. Let me go through just a couple of them real quick. White Album, Comic Party, Tears to Tiara, the Two Heart franchise. These are some series that not only had worldwide appeal, but they've actually been adapted into the manga or an anime, and those have actually been licensed in the States by other companies. So you wonder, how are they able to bring this over when those characters' rights are actually owned by someone else in the States? I have no idea. I don't know how they got around that. I don't know who they bought off or whatnot, or some legal loophole they were able to work through. But this is actually finally coming legit stateside. It'll be available for the PS3 November 19th for $29.99. I'm looking forward to this. I love these styles of games. I mean, I play Skullgirls a lot. Blaze Blue, Guilty Gear. To add this to that, I'll be just set. And maybe I'll stream a bit of it as well. And who knows? Because I haven't played all of the games that Leaf and Aquaplus have released, maybe those will give me incentive to do so. We'll find out. But I know there's a game that everyone in the world that has a Nintendo 3DS and is a big anime fan is going to get day and date as fast as they can. And of course, I'm talking about the recently announced Attack on Titan game for the Nintendo 3DS. And some images released from the upcoming game. I gotta say, this one, they're taking what power that the 3DS can do, and even though it's not the most powerful handheld system out there, my God, I just want to play this game just because I love the series so much. These images are actually scanned from Famitsu.com, so you guys can go over to their website and actually see bunch of great stuff, and that site's been around for years, so they always have some great stuff on there in the first place. Apparently there's going to be a story mode. At the beginning you can only play as Eren, but as the story progresses you'll be able to play as Mikasa and Armin. There'll be 4-player multiplayer options. You'll also be able to customize your own characters. Apparently you can save others who have been captured by Titans by cutting off their arm, but the moment you get eaten yourself, well, that's game over. I think it's going to be a great game. The only concern I have is that there are so much hype for this game that it'll be interesting to see if it actually holds up to the hype. Very few games have actually held up to the level that it was hyped up to, but honestly, it's Attack on Titan. How you have the ability to jump around and slash giants into pieces. I think it should be epic regardless. Definitely kind of making me consider, because I'm still on the fence between PS Vita and Nintendo 3DS, and this is kind of tilting it that way, so we'll see what happens on that. Last bit of news is, I usually like to end with like a figure announcement or something random, but out of all things, a Dolphy was announced. Those Dolphy Dreams, those huge dolls that are very, very expensive, that you can customize to your heart's content. And by customize, I mean not just clothes, but also face, arms, design, the feel of the skin. I mean, they are a doll lover's dream. That's why they call it Dolphy Dream. And they made the announcement of a specific version that's coming out called the Hatsune Miku Dolphy Dream. Yes, Miku is getting her own Dolphy. This one is 60 meters tall. It was actually supervised by Eczema, which is actually very well known in the Vocaloid world because he's worked on numerous very popular illustrations. He also worked on the Hatsune Miku V3 software package design, so you have that most recently. You can pre-order her in about 10 days from now. You have to pay it off within the next few months if you want this. I will skip out on this. It looks nice though, but man, that price. Those Dolphys, they are so expensive. Like, I can buy several really nice figures for this price. The retail price for this doll is 65,100 yen, equal to about just under $660 US. If you have that kind of extra cash and you want this, by all means go for it. For me, I can think of a lot better things I could use with that money. So, besides, once you get a number of Miku figures anyways, do you really need the Dolphy? Don't answer that. But I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode of AniBreak. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out. I know that sometimes we run a little late like we did tonight. We try to keep around the 20-30 minute mark. But honestly, there was a lot of good information to talk about this week. And next week will probably be even longer because I'm going to focus on all the upcoming anime for the fall 2013 season. And last count, there's about 28 different either series, OVAs, or movies that'll be released in the next few months. And we have trailers, we have information, we have opening songs, we have a number of a bunch of information to go through. And I'm going to do my best to present it as simple as possible so you guys can enjoy that. So you guys want to stay tuned for that, and also stay tuned for post-show tonight, where we'll hang out and do our usual moment of zen. So if you have ideas for what you want to show, some random bit of video you found on the internet, start putting them in the chat right now. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. For AniBreak, I'm Jason, and we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy.